Hello, everyone. Welcome to the Horror Realm, to our first episode of Morbid Matchmaking. This is a show that is geared for horror fans who are single. All right. And by the way, I am Travis Bruce. I will be your host today. And today, our first guest, we have, listen, she's a producer, director, actress. She does a lot of stuff in the indie horror realm. I have with us Amanda Megan. Amanda, welcome to
Hi,
Morbid
guys.
Matchmaking.
Hello. Thanks for having me.
Pleasure having you. So, Amanda, tell us a little bit about yourself. Let's start off that way.
Okay. I live in Pennsylvania. I am 35 now. Divorced, no kids, no pets. I work a lot. I travel a lot. So,
So that always makes it hard. I mean, the
right.
busy work schedule and the traveling. Now, when it comes to dating, what are you looking for right now?
Well, somebody that would understand like my hectic schedule and that is very, very patient with me for starters. I'm big on open communication. I'm big on respect. I'm big on trust. I feel like those are the pretty standard qualifications these days.
No, now, listen, it's been a while since I've been out in the dating realm. What are some struggles when it comes to dating right now?
Oh Lord, all of it. It's for me, I don't really like to do the whole what's your favorite color? What's your favorite food? Like I want to know all of the things that makes you you. I want to know what makes you angry. How do you handle it when you're angry? I want to know what traumatized you when you were a child. How are you overcoming that? I want to know, would you rather explore space or the ocean? Like, I don't want like the cookie cutter conversations. I don't want to feel like I'm pulling teeth to have a conversation. Like, I want it to flow naturally.
Now, do you feel right now that people are not as transparent when it comes to dating?
I guess and no, I think it really depends on the person. I think part of the difficulties is the fact that a lot of people are doing the online dating now. And like you can just be anybody that you want online. Um, so I think that that's a factor. But I also think that nowadays people would have a harder time like interacting in person and like making that move or making that conversation starter or icebreaker or whatever you want to call it. Um, and some of the things that I've experienced with online dating, I had one guy who was very, very talkative. Like there is such thing as too talkative. And towards the end of the conversation, he was like, so I'm going to be homeless in like 3 months. And I was like, yeah, nope, that's not my problem, man. If you are looking for help, if you need to be home, if you're going to be homeless and you need help, I encourage you to get help. I am not that help. I will give you resources, but you're not coming to my place.
Because I mean, that's something that I've heard, from women friends, that men today are looking to move. They don't have their own place, and they're looking to move into a woman's place as soon as possible. And there's a lot of women out there that are willing and welcome to it. But that's something that you would not want to do.
No, I would not. I do live at home with my parents and my brother right now too. The economy kind of sucks, so we're all trying to save some money, and I'm okay with this. So I'm very cautious about who I bring here and who I meet up with. My my family and my own safety are always my number one priority. So
Now, you said that you don't have kids. Are you willing to date a man who has kids?
I'd be okay doing like the stepmom auntie kind of thing. I don't want to give birth. I have a very low pain tolerance. I don't want to be pregnant. I don't want to give birth. I would be okay if they had kids. I'd be okay with like adopting. But I don't want to do it. No, thank you. I've heard enough horror
Now,
stories.
now, is there a set amount of kids? Like, is over two, five?
Um,
Is
Not so
there a
much. I
max?
mean, I'm I don't know how to answer that actually. I I want to know that they're not just like out there all loosey goosey. You know what I mean? Like I don't want to be with somebody who's known as like a player or a manho or like has like 27 kids or like something crazy like that. Um, and it's more important to me that they're active in their kids' life, that they're being good parents, that they're being good dads. Um, you know, the kind of stuff I would want my kids around.
Now, is there a set amount of income a man has to make?
Well, I don't want to have to pay for their bills too. So as long as they can take care of their own stuff, I'm cool with it. I make some pretty decent money, so I would at least expect it to match mine. Like I said, if they can pay their own bills and I can pay my own bills, I'm cool with it. Like for me, it's a team. It's a team effort. It's not like a all on you or all on me. Like I'm very much a 50-50 person, but I recognize, there are times where it's going to be like 80-20 or vice versa. And you need to be able to not compensate, but really take care of each other and really be in that like joint teamwork mind frame.
Because I mean, we're in a weird stage in our country right now where women make significantly more than men, which is something 10 years ago wasn't the case. So it's kind of hard for women out in the dating culture to try to find a man who makes the same amount, if not more.
Right. I'm not so much about the money. It's how are they responsible enough with it? How do they spend it? Those types of things. It's not necessarily the amount. It's how good are they with it. I recognize that everything is trash right now. So
it really is. Now, you're a huge horror fan. I mean, you're in the indie horror movie industry. Does your suitable candidate, does he have to be a horror fan?
Not necessarily, but they're going to be stuck watching it with me and they're going to be stuck listening to me talk about it regardless. So it would be more beneficial if they were.
Okay. Now, age range, you're 35. Would you date a guy younger than you? Would you date a guy in his 20s?
I could. I tend to prefer older men, actually.
Okay. So 35 and older?
Yeah, 35 and older.
Okay.
I mean, I'd be willing to talk to people that younger too, but they would really have to have their shit together,
Yeah. Now, when it comes to height, I know a lot of women say they want men who are 6 foot or taller, or at least taller than them. Is height an important requirement?
For me, yes. I'm 5'3" and I cannot reach anything. So somebody needs to be able to reach that top shelf because I can't do it.
All right. All right, guys. So I got some random questions. By the way, anyone who's watching, if you got any questions for Amanda, please place them into the comments. All right. When it comes to a first date, do you think the man should pay for the first date, or are you okay with going 50-50?
I would be okay with going 50-50. I always get really nervous about it too. Like when I am out on a date, I'm always like, I always have enough money to cover everything, but I don't want to be like, I don't want to undermine them or make them feel like less than. So I'm always prepared to pay for it. I'm okay paying for it. But I do find that most men kind of like insist on paying for it, especially when it's the first date.
As they should, as we should, as we should. Now, when it comes to the first date, do you prefer for the man to plan the first date?
So yeah, I do. Only because part of my other like jobs, I plan events and weddings and stuff for like a living. So I don't necessarily want to have to plan all of that. Especially to like get started. And it would kind of like also show me like, okay, they're serious. They actually want to do this. They actually want to meet me. You know what I mean? It kind of gives me that little bit of like security that I'm not just going to go there and waste my time.
I can totally understand that. Plus, also too, fellas, do not allow the woman plan a date because she might pick somewhere super expensive out of your price range. She doesn't know. She doesn't know. All right. All right. What are some things that are big turn-offs, deal breakers for you when it comes to guys in dating?
I mean, I'm a pretty open book. I'm willing to give quite a few people, a chance. At least it's all about the first impressions. Like if you send me the dick pic, I am not responding. I'm going to make fun of you. All of my friends and I. If you send me a dog pic, then you might have a chance. Okay, so there's number one. Don't ask me to move in. That's not going to happen. Sorry, not sorry. The communication. Like if it feels like if I feel like I'm the one putting in all the effort and I'm the one that's asking all the questions and I just don't feel that interest or that energy being reciprocated, I'm like, I'm out. No, thank you. Next. Bad hygiene is definitely a factor. Um, like you need to be able to take care of yourself. You can't take care of me if you're not taking care of yourself. Um, I mean, that's pretty much it. I prefer partners who are, they take care of themselves. They kind of know what they're doing. They have at least some sort of plan for their life. Like they're not just like, yeah, I just want to smoke pot and play video games all the time. Like I'm not here for that.
So, but are you 420 friendly?
I don't participate, but I don't stop it.
Okay. And I know a big deal breaker right now in 2024 for a lot of women are cigarette smokers. Are cigarette smokers a deal breaker for you?
Mm, I would prefer not. I would prefer not. I don't like the smell. I don't smoke personally, so I don't really want to be around it. If they're respectful enough and they're like, hey, I'm gonna go outside and have a cigarette after dinner or whatever, all right, cool, whatever. But like I don't want to be around it. I don't mind if like say every once in a while they like have a cigar or something to celebrate something.
Mhm.
I don't mind if I'm around people who are 420 friendly people. But again, I just don't participate.
And that's totally understandable. Um, Now, one of the things in as well, listen, politics. A lot of women who are Republicans don't want to date Democrats, and vice versa. Is that something someone's political party stance? Is that important to you?
It's not so much the political party, it's the types of things that go with it. For example, how do they feel about women's rights? How do they feel about the abortions? How do they feel about uh, women who do make more than them? Those types of things. Not so much the party, but the actual issues that need to be discussed.
Okay. So, a traditional guy, he wants a woman to stay at home, raise the kids, clean, cook. Is that a type of guy that you would entertain?
No, they're not going to like me. I'm not going to do any of that. So if that's you, don't call me. I am not the obey your husband woman. I am no. I'm very much I am expensive, I am difficult, I will talk back. I am going to give you all of the headaches. I'm a lot to handle, so prepare yourself.
What are five things that that you could tell a guy that would be a deal breaker to them when it comes to you?
Okay. Well, the fact that I do live at home with my parents could potentially be a deal breaker for them. And I recognize that. It is what it is. The fact that I am so active in the indie scene and that I model, I have done not, I mean, it's not like porn or anything, but like the entire internet has seen me naked, or at least a lot more of me than most people have. So if they are jealous or insecure, that could definitely be a deal breaker. So again, the trust, respect, communication, all of that stuff would be very, very important in that regard. So okay, so that's two. The fact that I don't want to have my own children, that could definitely be a deal breaker. Um, I'm not really religious. I consider myself more spiritual. That could be a deal breaker for some people. I don't like disrespect or like shove my thoughts down anybody else's feelings, and I would expect the same in return. Um, that's four. One more deal breaker. I would say just the fact that like I do travel a lot, like I'm not home often. My schedule can get kind of hectic. I'm also an empath, so like I feel a lot of people's emotions very heavily at times, and there are times where like I need to like retreat and seclude myself for a day or two so that I can kind of um what's the word, like decompress from it all, you know what I mean?
Yeah. Hmm.
And I think those would be my disclaimers, I guess.
So, I mean, would you ever date I mean, you're in the indie horror industry. Would you ever date a guy who was in the indie horror, a filmmaker or a producer or actor?
I don't know how I feel about that. I have, and I have been able to maintain all of, the friendships, and that's more important to me than any kind of like relationship or paycheck or what have you. Um, but I also very much don't do the whole, like, I won't date people that I work with. So if they're another like filmmaker or something, and like I'm not working on a project with them, I think I'd be okay with that. Like it wouldn't be somebody that I work with or that I work with often. And I mean, things develop, things evolve. You never know, but like to start, no, I think I like to keep pleasure separate from business.
That's smart. That's smart because I mean I've seen people who are dating and they get into business together and then boom, they fucking hate each other. And now what do you do with this project or whatever?
Right.
And I definitely, unless you're married, that then you can go ahead and do business together and do projects together. But I feel like in the dating, just keep that
Right.
separate.
Like you really got to get to know each other. You got to know what's going to set them off, what's going to set you off, how to handle that. Like, is she having a bad day because she just didn't eat and you need to shove a chicken nugget in her mouth? Or is there a bigger serious issue that needs to be addressed? Like how you can't just like hop, like it's not going to be like, hey, let's go on a date and let's go work on a project. No, we're not going to do that.
Totally understand. Now, Amanda, if there was someone out there who was interested, how would they get a hold of you?
The best way to get a hold of me is on Facebook. It's under Amanda Megan. I'm sure that you'll tag me in it later. Yeah, just send me a message there. Don't be a creep. Don't be stupid. I mean, I won't answer. If you annoy me, I'm just going to block you. So I'm just being real, guys.
Well, Amanda, it's been a blast having you on. Thanks for coming on. Listen, anyone's interested, definitely go down into the description and I will have Amanda's Facebook, send her a message. And Amanda, listen, I would love to have you come back on in a couple months and hear about any possible dates or possible love connections.
I will let you know how things go.
Awesome. All right, everyone. Well, thank you for coming to this first edition of Morbid Matchmaking. I'm Travis Bruce, and that's Amanda Megan. Y'all have a good one.